All right, I'm going to tweet it out real quick that we're live.
Maybe we'll get some peeps in. Now they have some Twitter followers. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I got to tweet the link. Twitch.tv/GTD_sports. Yeah, and the good thing is it seems like, too, that the people or the followers that we have gotten so far on Twitter seem to be pretty active. So, also, I don't have any more beer, so I had to get the seltzer out today. It's actually a Celsius, you know. It's a workout drink.
Oh,
Clearly.
you're drinking a Celsius?
Yeah, clearly from the can.
Going sober again.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know what it is with the mic, but it's like the cord is like, maybe it's my headphones, but it's also like.
Let me untangle it because it's kind of tangled.
Yeah, because it's also like your fingers too, maybe like against the mic hand. I don't know. It wasn't as bad last time. Hold on, we got a little bit of technical difficulties, folks, before we get started here. It'd be like that sometimes. Or honestly, Elijah, if you want, do you want me to go ahead and just start? You gotta unmute.
Let's see here.
That sounds better.
What does it sound like?
A lot better.
Okay. Well, if it starts doing it again, I'm just gonna unplug and just go with my laptop's microphone.
All right, I'll just tell you. Yeah, we'll probably be fine.
Okay. Yeah. If it's bad, then just be like, hey, just unplug.
Yeah. Alrighty. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Going the Distance podcast. My name is Ryan Bonnell, and alongside me is Elijah Span. It is episode number 21. Today is June 10th. It is Thursday night. We had to postpone our normal Wednesday night schedule, move it back a day, but nonetheless, we're still here for another episode. The recorded version will be uploaded on Friday morning. So if you don't catch the live version on Twitch or YouTube, check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. You can follow us on Twitter and other social medias there at GTD_sports. That's our Twitter, but our TikTok got a new username. We are now at gtdsports.com on there. We've been posting a lot of content on there, so make sure you guys follow us there as well. We've been way more active on Twitter in the past few days, so we're really trying to get that stuff going. And you can follow our personal accounts as well. You see on the screen, I'm at Ryan Bonnell 8 and Elijah is at Elijah Spans. If you want to follow along with our betting picks, I'm out of retirement. Elijah just came out of retirement this past couple days and won his first bet in a long time. So you can follow us on the Action Network and keep up with all of our picks. You can just search us by full name and we should show up on that. And last but not least, subscribe to the GTD Sports newsletter on our website so you don't miss out on any podcast or blog posts. All right, before we start on this episode, though, before we really get into anything important, I just want to say I'm gonna spit. I don't care how much time it takes. I will dig deep into the archives, the files, and find the audio clip where I picked Nikola Jokic to win this year's NBA MVP. Because I've never done it before. Because usually I just pick LeBron. But this year, I did it. I picked him before the season started, and it happened. So I just wanted to point that out. Now that that's out of the way, I'm at peace.
You did it, and I shat on you for it, too. I was like, no, I didn't agree with you.
I kind of I didn't expect it to happen realistically because it was kind of a long.
It was like more of a it was definitely more of like a hot take pick. But yeah, like, you were rocking with it.
Yeah, he had been playing good like the past couple seasons, so that was my logic. But anyway, what have you been doing this past week? I know it was your birthday yesterday. Anything fun?
Yesterday. Yeah, me and you went golfing. That was fun. I had the worst round that I've had in a very long time, which was not that fun.
I didn't do good either. I shot a 121, which is not great.
I stopped keeping score. So
a lot less mulligans, though. You know.
Yeah.
Taking baby steps.
Then I don't know, but then it sucked because I woke up this morning and I felt like shit, and it wasn't even from me like drinking. Like I'm actually sick. So.
Yeah, you sound a little stuffy, honestly.
Yeah. So, but we're rocking with it. I didn't want to postpone it again just because, like, just let's do this week's and get on next week's, basically. So I'm here.
We here. All right.
We here. We out here.
We got a decent amount of stuff to go through tonight, but I want to go ahead and start off with would you rather question like we always do. So this week I got, would you rather win an NBA Finals ring as a role player or a bench player, somebody that's really not like an icon, like, like well known on the team, or
like a Caruso?
Yeah, like a Caruso. That's a great pick or example. Or would you rather win March Madness being the one to make the buzzer beater shot?
So for me, it depends on which market I play for. So if I'm winning March Madness, I want it to be for like a Villanova or a Duke or Kentucky, to where I can stay in that area and just live off that one shot for the rest of my life. Like Johnny Manziel, he's literally just making money because he won the Heisman 10 years ago or whatever,
His autograph signing business.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I would either, or, if I'm in the NBA, depends on which franchise I do it for. Like if it's for like, I don't know, like the Bucks or something, I'd probably go with, the college buzzer beater, because then you could be the shot. But whatever's going to make me more money. Because either way,
I like that logic.
That's my logic.
I like that logic. That's not bad. Because, I mean, you bring up a good point. The bigger market teams like Kentucky and Duke, of course. Well, but at the same time, though, think about it. Those teams have so many championships that, like, why would that one be special? You know what I mean?
Boosters.
Yeah,
they have like the most money involved, and they love basketball the most, and like
that's true.
Those
schools' booster programs are insane, dude. Like, and their wait list. Like, I know for Kentucky and Duke specifically, we may have talked about this before, but like their wait list to get season tickets or even just tickets in general is like insane, and like their tickets are so expensive every time. But it'd be cool to be there, like as a student. That'd be fun.
Yeah. All right. So mine for you is, would you rather be Tom Brady's son or be a bottle of avocado tequila? Because either way, Tom Brady's lips are going to be all over you.
Oh, okay. You put me in a tough position here. Tom Brady's okay. Well, on one end, being Tom Brady's son would be cool, because like your dad is the greatest quarterback of all time. But then on the other end, you're probably going to have to like make out with him until you're age 18 and out of the house, because that's just how they roll with the Brady household.
And he is, TB12, so he's going to be pretty strong well into his 60s. So you're going to have to fight him off for a long time.
Oh my God, dude. No. He's going to keep you on that TB12 diet too, man.
When you're the bottle of avocado tequila, you're just samched, in one night, and then you go to the, probably the recycling. Tom Brady strikes me as a dude who recycles. And then
100%.
you get rebirthed as a different glass product.
I'm going with the avocado tequila, man. Fuck that, yeah. Rebirth, all that, Fuck me, being Tom Brady's son, it would be cool, but I don't know. I don't know if I would want that life, because also you got all those expectations too. You have to live up to your dad's legacy.
I don't know. Well, with being the bottle of avocado tequila, there's a lot of expectations to live up to the TB12 diet restrictions. So I mean, like,
yeah,
there's pressure from everywhere.
I had never even heard of avocado tequila before that. Like, the whole celebration thing when that went viral.
Yeah. Neither have I, but it made sense. It seems like something white people would be interested in.
It literally, it sounds exactly like
I'm
that.
very interested in it, actually, and I would like to get some, but I don't know. I've never seen it.
Does it taste like avocado, or is it just made with avocado?
Maybe it's made with avocado.
I need answers, dude.
I don't know. Maybe I just need to go to probably go to Specs. Have you ever been to Specs, like the really big liquor store?
Yeah.
Yeah, go there, and they'll probably have some avocado tequila. That's our best bet.
I'm sure any liquor store probably would have it. I don't know, though. Maybe it's some like luxury shit that Tom Brady got imported from Mexico.
Dude, he has all the cleanest things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
he
has
the
cleanest ingredients. Like,
he has to have the top notch of everything.
That bottle was probably at least upwards of $100 minimum.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's a lot of celebrities too that have been making their own brands of tequilas too.
Kendall Jenner, is it Kendall or Kylie?
Kendall got a lot of fire for that though.
Oh my God, dude, that's so dumb. So many celebrities have tequila.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's so many.
I'm pretty sure The Rock
has
all
white
tequila.
people.
The Rock has tequila. He's not Mexican. He's
Who,
Samoan.
it's like, is it like George Clooney or George Strait? I don't know. There's
probably both.
Yeah,
Jay-Z has his own tequila.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a discussion for a different day. But still, I don't get that stuff.
But yeah, so I'd want to be the bottle of avocado tequila.
Yeah, me too. All right, moving on now. Our first major topic of this episode, it just came out this morning, actually. So kind of a good thing that we moved the episode a day back, because the College Football Playoff Committee, they announced they're going to meet in Chicago next week to discuss the possibility of expanding the 4-team playoffs to a 12-team format. Which, right off the bat, yes. Fuck the 4-team format. We need more than that. I don't care. 12 teams, that sounds fine, right? Originally, I was thinking 8 teams. My format, I guess, before we really talk about it, if you were in the playoff committee, what would you do? What would you want?
Well, I'd probably say, Power 5 champion from each Power 5 school, automatic in.
Mm-hmm, I agree.
And then probably, definitely the winner of the group of 5. And then probably the rest of the 6 is just going to be teams that are just really good. 1 or 2, 2-loss teams that, are on the fringe.
Like another SEC team.
Yeah, probably. So we're probably going to have and then it's not going to discriminate which conference it's from.
Yeah. So I've been pleading for years now, ever since the playoff really came to be. I love the playoff format. I love that way. I like it in comparison to the old BCS system, where there was, just bowl games and then only the number 1 and number 2 team play for the championship. That was a little flawed. But now we have the committee, which is flawed on a human standard, because there's just so much, unknown biases within the people. For example, the people on the committee are athletic directors. Like Chris Del Conte, the athletic director for UT, he's on the committee this year. There may be a little bit of bias in that. I don't know. So I would love to see us combine the BCS format with the playoff, the BCS computer system with the playoff format, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The problem is with having the human element in it is that there's a lot of politics involved. If you go to the very first ever college football playoff, us, TCU getting knocked out of the top 4 for Ohio State, that was done because, both teams were deserving. Yes, TCU deserved to go, but you could definitely make a case for Ohio State because they ultimately won the championship that year. But it's because that they're, a blue blood college football program, and that's why they got in.
I can tell you exactly why.
And that's been, there's probably other cases of that aren't coming off the top of my head, but we see it every year. There is that case for the 2-loss Penn State team from a couple years ago. Instead, they did the 2 SEC teams. We know why Georgia and Bama Georgia and Bama are both in there.
That year, though, that you bring up a good point. Penn State, they had 2 losses. They won the Big Ten championship. They beat Ohio State that year. And instead of putting in the Big Ten champion, who they claimed the Big Ten was one of the best conferences that year, they chose to put in Ohio State again, over Penn State, who beat them and won the conference. Right. Ohio State didn't even go to the conference championship that year, and they still got in. So it's there's just so much bullshit. And the TCU one, you talked about that. Maybe I'm a little biased, growing up a TCU fan my whole life. I go to TCU now. But just to really paint how bad that was, we had one loss all season. It was a last second field goal against Baylor, who was also a top 10 team on the road, right? Which, if it was an SEC team, they would excuse that one loss, but they won't for us. Anyway. And then we go into our last game of the season, ranked number 3 in the country in the playoffs. We win 55-3 against Ohio State. We just thrash them, demolish them.
Iowa State.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know what I said. Iowa State. And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, they move us down from number 3 to number 6. We're out of the playoffs. Magic. Ohio State makes it. But of course they go on to win it that year. So it's hard to argue.
It's hard to argue.
But maybe TCU could have won it if they were in that 4th spot. That was a really good team. And they went on to win the bowl game against Ole Miss
We thrashed
42-3. Yeah. So that was fuck.
Yeah,
that. It gets me riled up.
Didn't Ole Miss beat Bama that year? That was like Bama's one loss.
It may have been. I don't know if that was the year they beat him, but Ole Miss plays Bama tough. I don't know why, but Ole Miss seems to be Bama's kryptonite.
That was what was that? Bo something. He was with
Bo
Ole
Nix.
Miss. No, he's Auburn. He's irrelevant right now. This guy was there forever. Whatever. He's irrelevant, I guess. So, but yeah, no. So this is. I guess I'm cool with it. I mean, the one thing that I do like about the 14 playoff is that college football is all about dominance, and having the champion have only one loss, like maximum, is just, I think, a part of college football and should be a staple. And I think, it's usually the 4 last teams that only have one loss that are Power Fives that get in. That's
You're
usually
right.
Some years there's some drama and some years there's not. And that's why I think, through the test of time, it's kind of held up for the most part. But so that's one of the reasons in defense of the college for the 14 playoff. But with having 12, man, I mean, like, everyone's gonna watch those games. It's gonna, and it boils down to money, and it boils down to more teams, more schools want this too, and all the athletic directors want this because it's going to mean more money for their schools and more recognition. I mean,
and that's what the NCAA is all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know why they've ever been against it. And like, just like to provide some more context on the 12-team format, if it were to go through and like be accepted, which a lot of rumors are saying that like the committee is leaning that way. Cause like you said, a lot of athletic directors want that exposure. They want that opportunity. But if it were to happen, the 1st through 4th seed would automatically have a first round bye, and the seeds would go to the highest ranked conference championships only. Only Power 5 conference champions can take those seeds. And then seeds 5 through 12 would play a regular tournament style with a home field advantage rather than a neutral site for the first round. And then after that, they go into bowl games like normal,
Okay.
So it would be interesting, and it would also eliminate independent teams like Notre Dame and BYU, if they were to ever be as good as they are, because they're not in a conference. So they would never be able to be one of the top seeds, just even if they're undefeated, because like they don't have a conference championship. So I kind of like that though, because I think they need to just, join a conference already. It's been long enough. So
my one worry with this though is that it's going to make the other New Year's Six bowls even more irrelevant. You know what I mean? Because that's been one of the problems with having the playoff, is that like players and fans, for the most part, don't care as much now that they make it to a New Year's Six bowl. It used to be like a big deal.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, oh, we didn't make it to the playoffs. Like that 2014 season for TCU, like that was our greatest year in the Big 12, like hands down. And we won the
arguably ever.
Yeah, arguably ever. Probably, Rose Bowl year, but whatever. But the only thing we can think about with that year is how we got duped out of the college football playoff. We don't think about that great team.
Dude, I hate the committee, dude. Fuck them, bro.
So
it's so bad. And there's also, and I feel bad too. Like we said, Ohio State probably gets that slot because they have, the boosters, maybe they have the money behind it. They have 100,000 fans at every single game. They have one of the largest alumni networks in the country. Meanwhile, TCU, as Ohio State claims us to be, the little sisters of the poor, we only have, like 90,000 living alumni. So, and we rarely sell out one game a year when we play UT. So like, we're not the greatest, but when we made it to the Rose Bowl, we showed up though. Like we filled that stadium as best we could.
Yeah.
So it's just those small teams now, they've never had that opportunity. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. You look at another example, that's what I meant to say, is UCF. They've been a great group of 5 team for the last close to a decade now. They've almost always been ranked year in, year out. They're one of the top 25 teams. You can say that about Cincinnati last year. That's another great example too. But like for UCF in 2017, they went 12-0. I don't know if you remember all those memes about UCF in their national championship year and stuff like that.
Of course.
If there was a 12-team playoff, teams like that would have a chance to go in there, and show what they can do against the big boys, because they're not going to get to play Alabama, Georgia, Notre Dame. They're not going to get to play them in the regular season because that's not how their schedules are built. And maybe they will in the next few years, but schedules are usually made within like 5 years in advance. So now they may be playing people like great teams in the next few years just to, show their worth and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think when they first started this thing, they said like, oh, group of 5 teams will be in. We're selecting the best 4 teams, period. But like, that's been proven to be a lie. No chance in hell under the 4-team playoff that they're going to put in a group of 5 school. So.
Yeah, that's the thing though. But like, how do they really know? Because Cincinnati was undefeated last year and finished 8th. Like,
well, didn't they lose to Georgia in their bowl game?
Yeah, but that's not the regular season though.
Yeah, I know, but still. So like that kind of goes back to refute it. So because if they lost to Georgia, Georgia wasn't even that great last year.
Georgia's pretty good.
They're like a good Georgia's team, but they weren't anywhere near the teams in the playoff last year. So
they weren't in discussion near the end, but they were a good team. They're always a good team.
But no, I think it'll be good for the group of 5 teams. Schools are the real winners here.
Exactly. And the Pac-12, I think, because the Pac-12 has been eliminated, like left out of the what's it called, the playoffs. I think 6 out of 7 times.
Seriously?
Like they're only. I'm pretty sure their only playoff appearance was Oregon the first year it was in existence.
No. Didn't Washington go? The Huskies?
You're right. No, you're right. Okay. They've had 2. Washington was 1. But speaking along those lines, though, out of the 28, there's only been 7 years of the playoffs. So out of those 28 slots through the 7 years, 20 of them, over 70%, have been taken by the same 4 teams: Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and Oklahoma.
Yep.
It's just, it's literally, I don't know. It gets boring.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that, agree. So it's
you want to see new faces.
We got a comment that says top 6 conference champs last year. Pac-12 still misses it. LOL.
Yeah, that was COVID stuff. That was a weird year for the Pac-12. They started late. That was like, I don't know.
Okay, last year's a bad example.
Yeah, last year's a bad example, I would say.
Yeah, but still, Pac-12, I don't know. They're a Power 5 conference, but they don't really play like it. So Oregon hasn't been that good the last few years. Stanford's been kind of Washington had like a 2-year stint whenever they had what's his name, Jake Browning, I think, at quarterback.
Yeah, didn't their coach leave him, or is that coach still there?
I'm not sure. Chris Peterson, yeah, Chris Peterson's a pretty good coach. He was at Boise State for a while.
Nah, they're definitely the worst. Which is good because like Big 12 is the second worst, and so we can say
no.
That.
I disagree. I highly disagree. What?
I mean, like, I want to say no, but like at the same time, I kind of have to admit defeat a little bit. I would say we're not as bad. We're not as bad as other people say that we are, because we do get shit on a lot, and I think that we're a lot more competitive than people give us credit for, because like we just beat up on each other so much. But at the same time, Oklahoma is literally the only team to go to the college football playoff for us, and so
they're just so fucking good because they've had 3 Heisman quarterbacks in the last 4 seasons. It's annoying, but like you said, the Big 12 beats each other up every year because it's so competitive. But really, I'm gonna so here's like my power rankings for next season already. The conferences: SEC number 1. Okay, that's obvious. Sure. SEC number 1. Big 12 number 2.
Big 12 2.
Big 12 number 2
over Big 10.
Over Big 10. Dude, who does Big 10 have other than Ohio State and Michigan?
Wisconsin, Northwestern.
Northwestern's not going to be as good next season. Wisconsin, that's a good point.
But Indiana
was okay.
Yeah,
I don't. But listen, you can say that too. But then the Big 12 has Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, West Virginia is usually ranked. TCU is projected to have a good season. Texas is always ranked because the college football playoff committee sucks their dick.
I just think that the Big Ten is a pretty deep conference. Like I would definitely put them at number 2. I could see us being in at number 3.
Big 10.
I could see Big 12 at 3 over ACC because ACC is Clemson and that's it right now at the moment.
ACC's number 4.
2 is a bit of a reach.
Nah, dude, I'm sticking with it. I'm confident.
Okay.
Next year, you'll see it, dude. Next year, trust me.
I mean,
the
I hope
Big
you're
10,
right.
the Big 10, just like the Big 12, they beat each other up too, because they're deep. Yeah,
They had
but
like
I mean,
they had
Big
like
12's
the
deep.
6-game schedule last year, so like that's nothing to really look into. My favorite thing about
Not
last year
last
though
year,
is Wisconsin imploding. Because at first I started betting on them a bunch, and then once I figured out that they sucked, I started fading the shit out of them.
Dude, I did the same exact thing, bro.
So great. I
Yes.
love that.
I made a lot of money on Northwestern too. They always had like huge plus odds.
Indiana was a good. I'm pretty sure Indiana was perfect against the spread, weren't they?
I don't know. They had a pretty damn good record though. I took Indiana against the spread when they played Ohio State, and they were down like what was it, 28-0 or something, and they ended up coming back and covering. Shit was awesome.
Yeah, that was a good game. But yeah, so I don't know. I kind of hope he gets accepted and permitted to, because the 4 team has potential. It hasn't gotten stale yet, but it's
I don't like
there.
it, dude. I don't like it.
It's getting there. So I would be definitely down for a 12-team playoff.
All right, let's move on now from college football to the NFL. In recent news, this has kind of been an ongoing situation with Aaron Rodgers. Most people, as you probably know, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers have been beefing a long time, or not a long time, but this offseason they've been kind of beefing. Rodgers wants out. Green Bay's trying to keep him. It seems like they gave him an offer. He hasn't accepted it yet. And recently, Ian Rappaport went on, I think it was the Eisen, what's his name?
Rich Eisen?
Rich Eisen show, yeah. The Rich Eisen show, and he said that Rodgers could be facing up to a $93,000 fine because he may be refusing to attend the mini camps coming up. So
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think that we see this play out in one of 2 ways. Either Rodgers comes back to Green Bay and they start giving him what he wants and more input, or Rodgers retires, because Green Bay is not
Retires.
Really?
Really?
He's gonna keep on getting fined. So like, it'd make more. I mean, he's 37 years old. Yeah, he's at the top of his game, obviously, but he might fucking retire and go be the host of Jeopardy. Like that's like.
Dude, I thought about that too when all this
It's-
stuff first started going down.
It's less of a meme than people think it is, I think. Because, I mean, look at him.
No,
I
he
mean,
loves
guys
it.
in Hawaii, maybe one of the reasons why he's holding out is because he wants an expansion team out in Hawaii. He's been on vacation for, it feels like, 2 months now. Just living his
Hawaii.
best life.
No, they would never do that though. Fucking
They would never
air
do
travel.
that.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's yeah, I mean, like, I could just see him be like, because he's just like kind of a priss, like if he doesn't get his way, he can just be like, all right, fuck you, I'm out.
I'm out of the league. I'm not playing ever again.
Yeah,
No,
fuck you.
I don't think he's gonna retire. I think he's gonna go to a different.
I think
team.
it's less likely. I think he's gonna stay with the Packers. I don't see any way that the Packers are gonna trade him.
I want to see him play somewhere else now.
You do?
I do. I think. Okay, well, I think the Packers have a win-win in this situation. Like it sounds really weird to say that, but think about it. So if they were to trade Rodgers, you can put a really, really hefty price on him, like overcharged, because he's a reigning MVP. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league all time too. You can get some good draft picks, first-round draft pick probably, and maybe get a star wideout as well, because that's what they need. They still haven't got that.
Yeah, the Packers are pissing me off with that.
Yeah,
they should have traded for Julio.
And you really don't know how good Jordan Love is. They spent a first-round draft pick on him. They had to have seen something. Like obviously the Packers saw something. They probably know more than me, because I didn't think Jordan Love was a first-round draft pick. But when you look at it like that, Jordan Love could end up being like the next Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers learned under Brett Favre for a few years in the same system. Now Jordan Love has an opportunity. Granted, they're much different style quarterbacks, but you never really know. You could set up your future with Jordan Love just by dishing out Aaron Rodgers. because realistically, you said he may retire this year. If that's even an option, he could just retire in the next few seasons. So you really only have a few years left. Why not get a shit ton of, draft picks for him and stuff?
Well, because for one, this is a win now team, and they're in a championship window right now. And
you're right. They are good enough. They're good enough.
Unequivocally has a better chance to win the Super Bowl than Love. Because if Love is in quarterback, they're maybe making it to the playoffs.
What do you think about them blowing it up? Just
blowing it up?
Blow it up, rebuild, blow it up, get rid of Rodgers, get rid of their star players, trade everybody, get draft picks.
No, because they've been dueling out big contracts for the past couple of years. So like they're in debt. I mean, their cap is all ate up. Like they just gave Aaron Jones a fat contract, which was a dumb move. So I don't know. But I just don't see them trading Rodgers because for one, what's going to be the return for him? Yes, you're probably going to get 2 first-round picks, but how great are those first-round picks going to be? Like Stafford,
you never know.
Well, Stafford got traded for 2 first-round picks, but another thing, Stafford is 4 years younger than Rodgers. Of course, he's not as good, but they were high first-round picks. They're going to be in the 20s, mid to late 20s picks, and the Packers, if they're getting mid to late 20s picks, then they need to get 3. And that's going to be a hard time convincing a team to give up their first-round pick for the next 3 years for a guy that's 37.
I don't think they need 3 for him. I think 2 would be just fine. Or even 1 and then a wide receiver. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know who can.
You're right in the sense, though, that they are a win now
criteria.
Team. I don't know. I really don't know. That'd be something to look into. Maybe, hey. No, actually, that doesn't even make sense. I'm trying to think of teams that need a quarterback but have wide receivers.
The Jets.
They just got Wilson.
Yeah, exactly.
Jets don't have wide receivers.
Davis.
They got Corey Davis. Yeah, I was just about to say they got Corey Davis, but that's about it. I think speaking of the Jets wideouts, I think Elijah Moore may have a good season. I think Elijah Moore kind of got into a good position for him.
Out of Ole Miss, right?
Yeah, at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I think he may have a good year at the Jets because Zach Wilson and him, they seem like their styles would match up very well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some preseason football, and then I can, start when training camp gets more and more underway, who I'm going to take for my fantasy team. But I'm going to fantasy stuff later.
We'll do fantasy in a few weeks probably. I made a TikTok about which rookies to draft in dynasty drafts because I'm in a dynasty league. So
I need to get in a dynasty league.
Dude, they're so much fun, bro.
I'm making the one with me and my friends right now. We're turning into a dynasty league this year. So I'm excited to do that.
Dude, I want to do that because I have a consistent me and this group, we've been doing it for a few years. And there's probably 6 of us that do it every year and 2 others that are So it's we don't really have I would want at least 10 people for a dynasty league.
Yeah, don't do 8-man league with a dynasty kind of suck.
It'd be OP. Every team would be too good. Soft. Yeah, I like at least 10. You have to do at least 10.
10, I like 10. 12 is okay. 10's the sweet spot for me. I like 10 the best.
I agree, but 12 is fine too.
12 is fine too. I'm not gonna go more than 12. I think one time I did a 16 one, and I was like,
"Fuck that."
No, I did a 21, a 20-man league. It fucking sucked. I started third string running backs and stuff. It was the worst.
That wouldn't even be fun.
Sometimes if my quarterback got hurt, there's no starting quarterbacks.
I was just about to say any injuries fucks your season.
No, it was straight up not having a good time.
No, I mean, okay. What were we? Let's go back to what
talking about Rodgers.
Yeah, I was gonna say we kind of got off track there with fantasy football a little bit, but now I'm just thinking about who I'm gonna draft and shit, man. All these rookies and stuff.
Good segue into that. What do you think about Julio Jones now that he's with the Titans? Where are you gonna take him?
Ooh, that's a good. Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, what in fantasy?
Yeah,
I would not take him first round. Let's get that off the table. Definitely not first round.
I usually stay away from Julio just because he is. I mean, yeah, he's gonna give you points when he's healthy, but when is he gonna be healthy? That's availability is the number one asset.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I would say late second round probably is where I would target him. But if you can get him in the third round, you got to pull the trigger 100%. Like that's taking him in the third round. But
I'm not even gonna lie, dude. You strike me as a big Joe Mixon guy in the first or second round.
yeah. No, not first round, definitely not.
I drafted
second
him in the
round,
first
I may
round.
take Joe.
I drafted him in the first round like 2 years ago, and last year he was available, and I was like, nope, and I took Eckler instead.
Oh, that's a way better decision.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So Julio's now a Titan. How good do you think this makes the Titans? What does this do for the Titans?
I think they're a top 5 offense now.
Top 5.
Top 5 offense overall offense. Top 5.
Yeah,
maybe
arguably.
top 3 even.
Top 3. I mean, you think of Kansas City, you think of Tampa Bay, Buffalo, Seattle, LA
you're right.
this year.
Buffalo's up there. I don't know. LA, maybe they're not proven yet. So
I would put them fringe top 5. I think they're probably about 6 or 7 because they haven't. Julio's 32, right? 32, 33.
He's in his 30s for sure.
Yeah,
I can check that.
So I mean, it was a great move. They replaced Corey Davis with an upgrade
with Julio, and Julio is 32.
Yeah, so but he was dinged up last year. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. If he stays healthy, like holy shit, him and AJ Brown are going to be unreal. Adam Humphries in the slot. It's Humphries, right? That's their third guy.
Yeah.
Okay, and then pounding the rock with Derrick Henry. I mean,
dude, that offense is insane, bro. That's what I was just about to say. Tannehill, I think, is their only limiting factor in the offense, but he's a game manager. That's what he does. He doesn't fuck anything up too much. He doesn't make any spectacular, amazing, like, oh my God, how did he do that type plays? But he gets the job done. And I think considering, like you just said, Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, AJ Brown is around him.
He's a poor man's Alex Smith.
Yeah, it's a great example. Yeah. A little bit more mobile, though, than old Iron Leg there.
Well, at this point, yeah. But Alex Smith was, I mean, he would dish it out with the Chiefs. He would always
he used to be cold
with
the Chiefs.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Tannehill is he's right around 12, I would say. Probably fringe top 10, depends on how his stats are. But, yeah, I still don't think, in my opinion, this does really anything for their Super Bowl aspirations.
Really? Let's talk about, before we go Super Bowl, let's talk about like division. What do you think they're going to win their division?
So they have the best chance in their division to win it. The only thing is the Colts.
Yeah, I was just about to say Colts is their only competition.
So high. For some reason, I'm feeling so high about Carson Wentz next year.
You did not just say that.
I am. I'm high on him.
Oh my God. Why?
Like, I just
give me one legitimate reason Carson Wentz will have a good season.
He's going back to Frank Reich, who was his offensive coordinator in 2017. And
two reasons. Fuck you.
Don't underestimate the power of a fresh start. He was a head case. I mean, think about it. He's going to a new great.
He may have been, but I just don't think he's the same after his injuries.
That's a valid point. That is a valid point. But if there's anybody to fix him, it's going to be Reich. So, I think Carson Wentz is a potential comeback player of the year. Fringe MVP candidate, like if he can get it together, or he's either gonna be really good or really bad.
I think he's gonna be really bad because it's Carson Wentz. But I mean, that's really all I have to say. I don't know. You're right. Coming back with his offensive coordinator, his old offensive coordinator, that may do something because he was great for him in those couple years with the Eagles.
Mean, they've got a good team. They've got Colts have a great O-line. They've got Jonathan Taylor. T.Y.'s back. He was a little bit dinged up last year. Hopefully he'll be healthier. Michael Pittman is going to have a better year than he did last year. I'm high on him, on his future, and they've got a good defense. They got a better defense than Tennessee. So, and they won, 11 games and almost a playoff game with the ghost of Phillip Rivers. So
I think, the Colts are a team that's kind of just been quiet. Like they were quietly good last year, if that makes any sense. Like nobody really talked about them. Yeah, past 2 years even.
So
Phillip Rivers, I think that was a great fit though for him too. Was the Colts? That's another thing is I'm just interested to see how Carson Wentz will fit with the Colts, but I think it will be a lot easier though. With his old coach there.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a pretty seamless transition for the most part. But Tennessee does have the best chance to win that division.
Do you think?
100%.
Okay, so do you think Julio or AJ Brown will be their wide receiver one? Like, who's going to have more yards?
AJ Brown, because Julio is probably not going to play a full 16 games.
That's a good point. And
And-
I was going to say Julio may get doubled more.
Julio may get doubled more. And it's going to make Julio being there is going to make AJ Brown better. And AJ Brown is really good.
Yeah, AJ
So-
Brown's already really fucking good.
Yeah, he's already, a top 10 guy in the league. So now they have 2 top 10 wide receivers, paired that with Derrick Henry. So, but I think this team has a definite ceiling, and it's not the Super Bowl.
Where do you think it is?
Probably at most AFC Championship, but in my opinion, the divisional round.
Division? I think they can go to the AFC Championship.
There's too many teams that are better than them. You got Kansas City, they're better than Tennessee. Buffalo, better than Tennessee.
Yeah.
Who am I forgetting right now in the AFC?
Yeah, but it's one game, though. It's one
Baltimore
game.
is better than AFC.
It's one game.
The
They can make a
Tennessee.
run. Baltimore's
Yeah.
not. I don't think Baltimore's better than Tennessee.
Maybe not Baltimore.
I don't
Baltimore would
think
be-
so.
But 2 teams are 100% better.
Bengals, that's
Yeah.
who.
Shut up. Miami is going to have a playoff run this year.
I think
No.
Miami has potential. It's just
Miami
Tua can get his shit together.
It's all on Tua's shoulders.
It's literally all on Tua. Remember that video of DJ Khaled whenever Tua got drafted? Tua Tagovailoa.
New England has a better chance to go deeper this year than Tennessee.
I think New England's gonna be bad.
Cleveland's better than Tennessee.
Fuck no.
Cleveland's definitely better than
No,
Tennessee.
you're
Yes.
wrong.
Yes, 100%.
You're so wrong. Who's Baker Mayfield or Ryan Tannehill?
Baker.
No.
Yeah.
No, dude.
Yeah.
What?
He's good out of the play. He's best out of the play action.
Dude, Baker
the
Mayfield's
best
not
player
even
from
top
quarterback.
half of the league. Not even top half of the league.
Oh, that's
Dude.
so false.
Like we were just talking about, Ryan Tannehill's a game manager. Baker Mayfield was just a little bit more of a mobile game manager that throws more turnovers, a lot more turnovers.
I would say you could put Baker or Ryan in a pick 'em.
They're
I think
close.
I think you go
They're
either way.
close, but I'm taking Tannehill
You can take
7
Tannehill.
days a week, twice on a Sunday, dude.
But I mean, like, there's just so many. I think
Dude, and Baker's had such better targets the whole time, and he still has done, like, you can't really say he's done. At last season, sure, he had a great year. Good for Baker. But, he's got Odell with him. He's got Jarvis Landry. He's had David Njoku, even though he's dealt with a little bit of injury problems. But still, he has good targets.
it's true. Well, I mean, so will Tannehill this year.
Now,
And
yeah.
Tannehill's had
Now.
great.
So this is
I
a
mean,
test.
well, yeah,
This is a
Corey
test.
Corey Davis and AJ Brown last year. Those are 2 great wide receivers. But I mean,
Corey
like,
Davis never really blossomed at Tennessee.
go
though.
in. LA Chargers. I mean, the Chargers might even be a team that could overtake Tennessee this year, depending on how much of a leap that
It's their
Herbert
O-line.
takes.
I think it's going to come down to their O-line.
Hopefully Darisaw turns out. Hopefully Darisaw pans out. I'm high on the Chargers. Now that they got a new
I
coach.
think they're going to be good too. I
don't
don't.
have the-
I like the Chargers.
Yeah. So
I like
like,
Herbert a lot.
I just see too many teams right now that could beat them. Is a reason why I wouldn't put them as a Super Bowl contender at this moment. A real
yeah.
like, bona fide
You're
Super
right.
Bowl
You're
contender.
right. When you lay it out there, I think they have a chance, but maybe the divisional round is their best bet.
But I mean, they made the perfect personnel move getting Julio. Like that is exactly what they needed. So
Yeah, I agree.
good for them. Right.
Especially
NBA
after losing
playoffs.
Davis. Yeah, let's move on from NFL over to NBA. First off, I want to talk about your Mavericks.
Yeah.
We were both high on them. I was very confident they were going to win the series against the Clippers and Kawhi was going to leave. I was excited because there was rumors about Kawhi going to Miami. I know Miami is always, making rumors happen with free agents, but that would have been cool. But now that's not going to happen. They choked. What's your take?
So I said before the playoffs started, I'd be happy with a 6 or 7 game series, but the way that ended, I'm very unhappy. And I think it's time for Rick Carlisle to go. And I'm not a chop off your head Rick Carlisle guy. Like, I'm not screaming for his job like some Mavs fans have been the past year, maybe two, because he's uplifted so many bad teams. He got us through teams where we were competing in the playoffs. I mean, we were never a real threat to win it after our title in 2011, but there was a lot of teams that had no business being in the playoffs and were because of Carlisle. And so it makes me sad to say that he needs to go, but I think he's got to go in order for the team to grow. I hear a lot in basketball that coaches' messages can get stale with young guys, and sometimes they'll need a new voice to come in and kind of in order to resonate with the players. And I kind of think that that's what we need.
No, I think so too. Because I mean, Carlisle, he's not a bad coach in any way, but there's only been, I think, I forget the exact stat, but there's been like 6 teams in the NBA that haven't gotten past the first round in the last decade. And the Mavs are one of those 6, but they're like clearly better than the other 5. The other 5 is the Hornets, the Pistons, the Timberwolves, the Magic, and the Kings, which like, well, duh.
Let's set the record straight. If we were in the Eastern Conference, we could have made it to some conference finals.
Like, I don't know about conference finals.
No, but I mean, like we would have definitely won a playoff series if we were in the East.
Yeah, no, you would have. I'm not disagreeing, but you probably wouldn't have made conference finals. But you're okay. It's like the Mavs are clearly better than those other teams in that list. And also another interesting little fact with that group is all of those teams have had at least 5 different head coaches in the last decade. The Mavs have stuck with Carlisle the entire time, which, granted, he had that great 2011 finals run, won the championship, but like, how far can one ring go,
I mean, well, it's obviously carried him pretty far because we've had, we rebuilt under him. We had those, 2-3 lost seasons that were terrible, and we wrote it out with him, and it wasn't his fault by any means. It was we tore down the roster so we could get a top pick, which ended up being Luka.
It turned out call. Great, yeah,
good call. But I just, maybe we need something different, and this isn't discounting anything that he's done because he's done he brought us the organization's first championship. But what have you done for me lately?
Nothing.
I mean, you choked. Okay. You lost 2 games in a row to lose a series or for a team that you could have beat. And those fourth quarters, the past 2 games, were not great. Maybe it's a personnel thing. Maybe we need to get Luka a real number 2, Kristaps.
I was just about to say, it may not even be Carlisle. Maybe it's Kristaps for playing like a number 7, let alone a number 2.
Yeah. He is not who he was in New York.
No, not at all. And maybe it's because of that ACL injury,
So, no, it's definitely what it is. 100%.
Yeah, it has to be.
Maybe that's why. Because remember when we made that trade, everyone was like, "Oh my God, the Mavericks completely robbed New York of that pick." And then there was even some speculation that it's because he raped a girl, but then that turned out being that fizzled out. So I think that was not true. Do you remember that?
Not. No, I didn't hear that about.
Yeah, there was something going on that in New York. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get out, because apparently he sexual assault or rape or something. But then I just never heard about it again. So maybe that's not the case. Maybe
I don't know. I didn't.
Maybe it's because of his knee,
but it's probably because he's just fucking playing like shit. That's probably why.
Yeah,
but I saw it in his interview. Or his post-game interview or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was, but he said he's tired of being treated like an afterthought rather than the number 2 player. But it's bro, maybe you should stop playing like an afterthought. I don't know. That's an idea.
Well, him and Luka aren't buddies, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, it's Luka and Bobby.
Yeah, they're the real friends.
They're the real friends.
They're not
so cute.
I think Cuban said something. They're like, "Oh, Luka and Kristaps work out their issues on the court," and so it's not something you really want to hear. That doesn't sound great for our 2 best players.
No, yeah, I think they need to dish out Kristaps. Just do something. They, no matter what, build around Luka. At all costs, build around Luka. Get whatever you can to help Luka. because I think Luka has multiple MVPs in his future, and they could get a decent price out of Kristaps. You know, even though he's played like shit in the postseason, like this season at least, they could probably get maybe a first rounder for him, I'd say. Because what do you remember exactly what they gave up for him?
Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, and a first round pick. And then we got Kristaps, Tim Hardaway Jr., and who is the real diamond rough in that trade. Honestly, if you ask Mavs fans, some Mavs fans might even say that was the Tim Hardaway Jr. trade and not the Kristaps Porzingis trade.
Dude, he's been a fire role player. He's been phenomenal.
Out for us.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then we got, I forgot the third guy. I don't know. Wasn't.
But you gave up a first rounder though. So and like Dennis Smith was good on the Navs, but I mean now didn't he bump down all the way to the G Leagues?
Yeah, he was awful once he got traded to New York.
Yeah, it wasn't great in New York.
So yeah, it didn't work out because him and Luka just didn't really work out on the court very well. And that was kind of when we first drafted Luka, that's what it was primed to be. It's like these two guys are going to be our future. And then it just didn't pan out, you know. Their games didn't mesh, and so we shipped him off as part of him and that first round pick, and DeAndre Jordan were the three guys that sent for. Courtney Lee was the last guy.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Mavs could definitely get a first rounder for Kristaps and even another role player, which I mean I know they have enough of those, but I'm sure if they included maybe Kristaps and they gave up another draft pick, they could bring in a star player, bro. What do you think about the Mavs going after Dame?
I love Dame, so like, yeah, I would be all about that.
Yeah, because like that's another thing I think of right now is after the Trailblazers are out of the playoffs. Is it time? Is it time for Dame time to go?
Yeah.
You know, is it time for him to leave Portland?
I mean, he's been pretty adamant about how he feels about building a championship team in Portland, and
he has
his whole career.
You're right.
I've also heard that he might go to New York to the Knicks, which like I would be about.
I would love to see that actually.
I would definitely be about. He would definitely get a lot more credit than he's already getting. So starting getting what he deserves.
Yeah, because it's like with the Trailblazers, it just seems like he's given so much to that organization, and like what has he gotten in return? You know.
Not much. One Western Conference Finals appearance.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. You know, so I think he should leave. Yeah, and I get that. You know, he wants to build the small market organizations, build it up, make them a championship team. That's awesome. You know, great for Dame in that aspect. But at the same time, I think it's time for him to think about himself. And he is a championship caliber player that's not on a championship caliber team, which isn't all too uncommon, but he has the opportunity this offseason to go to a championship caliber team. And like the Knicks, I wouldn't call them a championship caliber team yet, but if he pairs up with Julius Randle, that could be awesome. You never know. And I'm sure the Knicks are going to be moving around in the offseason trying to bring somebody else in too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, the Knicks are going to be very aggressive this offseason.
Yeah.
Because now they're cool again. So now, like, their problem in the past that they've just been so trash. Like, players are like, yeah, I'd love to go and play New York and play in Madison Square Garden. But, you know, you guys are a shitty organization. But now they have Tibbs there. Makes things a lot different. So
and everybody, like, wants to play at MSG. They want to play in New York. But with the Trailblazers, Dame is going to have a really hard time bringing in some other talent because nobody wants to play in Portland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, probably the best, other than McCollum, of course, but McCollum's been there forever. Like, other than McCollum, probably the best free agent talent they've brought in during Dame's, tenure was Hassan Whiteside after his fallout with the Heat. And he sucked in Portland. He didn't play well. He kind of fell out. He doesn't even play anymore.
Yeah, well, and they have Jurkic.
Jurkic is pretty good.
Jurkic has worked out for them. But
yeah, Jurkic is pretty good.
No, just not. They've just been like a good team and not, something that what he deserves. So, yeah, it might be time for him to move on, honestly.
Yeah. Other than the Trailblazers and the Mavs, so another question I have for you is is Phoenix, the Suns. They just beat the Lakers. Well, not just. It was a while ago now. We're a few days late on this. But are the Suns legit? Do they have a legitimate chance?
Yes.
When we had Colton on, he picked the Suns to go to the finals. You're saying yes?
Absolutely.
Tell me why.
Because for one, I picked the Nuggets to go to the finals, but that's because I didn't think that LeBron was going to go out in the first round. And after what the Suns have done to LeBron in the first round and what they've done so far in 2 games against the Nuggets, they're for real.
They are. I think so too.
CP3 has been going off. He had 15 assists last night and 17 points. I mean, just being CP3 doing CP3.
Dude, Devin Booker had what was it, close to 30 points by halftime.
Was it 4 guys had 20 points last night?
I don't know exactly. I didn't get to watch last night's game, but
okay,
it was fun. The Suns are just going off right now, man.
Yeah,
they can do it, and I would love to see the Suns in the finals. I would love to see Suns and Nets.
Yeah, Suns Nets finals is probably what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, because dude, the Nets, bro. Oh my God, they look unstoppable, man. Even what's the score of the? I'm gonna check that right now.
Tied at 76 with 3 minutes left. Just keep it within.
Dude, that's so low scoring, bro. I picked the under too. Let's go.
Yeah,
that's really low scoring. But
I got Nets plus 3.5 because duh.
Oh, I mean, yeah, dude, they've been going. I would have taken the risk on the Bucks because teams that in the playoffs, teams that have lost by 40 points are 6-0 in the following game, which is kind of weird. But I don't know. I just like betting trends like that. But the Nets, they look fucking dominant, bro. Because James Harden didn't even play and they won by 40.
Yeah,
goddamn.
Yeah,
they're definitely going to the finals. It's the 76ers. Sure, they're a great team, but they've already been rattled by the Hawks. They lost game 1. They're shaken up a little bit. I know Embiid was had a little injury scare, but still, it's the Hawks. They're not that great.
Yeah. Man, we were so wrong about the Nets when that trade first happened for James Harden. We were so wrong.
Yeah.
Me and you were shitting on it. We were like, oh, this is going to, all their egos are too big and it's not going to work out and this and that. And so far it's worked pretty okay. And
I don't know though, in the regular season, there was a few moments of scare. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but there was a few unsure moments.
I think the first 10 games with Harden, they didn't do great. And
figured
it out.
But there was also injuries and then Kyrie was he disappeared for a while.
Kyrie was doing his magician act and
doing whatever he does with flat Earth and shit.
Yeah, going to he had some cult meetings he couldn't miss. So
yeah, exactly.
Some chants or child's blood to drink.
What a guy, dude.
Some adrenochrome to get attend to or something.
What a guy.
Who fucking knows what he's doing on his sabbaticals? But but we were wrong. Turns out they're all really good at basketball. No
shit.
Like we all knew.
Yeah, it was just I just didn't think they would work out chemistry wise, but it looks like they're locked for the finals at this point.
Yeah,
it would be interesting. I mean, I think they're going to play the Sixers for sure. So I mean, that'll be interesting to see. I'm excited for that.
No, so
all right,
let's NBA playoffs, baby.
Yes, sir.
All right, but speaking of what we need to happen as a playoff.
Yeah. I would love to see a playoff of this. Here, you go into Brooks. I gotta pee.
Okay, so Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau, as we know, hate each other. This is great for the sport of golf, as we've said before, because we need somebody to hate. We need golf is a game that needs a side to pick right now. All right, I guess not right now, but it's just always more fun when there's a rivalry, right? Like Tiger versus Phil or whatever. But this is so much fun because Brooks is fuck you, I don't care. He's the likable douchebag. He's the popular guy in high school that is a douchebag and you kind of don't like him because of how douchey he is. But when you're around him, you're like, fuck, I just want to be around this guy because he's so cool to be around and he's just he's a cool guy. And then Bryson DeChambeau, who's a fucking nerd, and is a whiny little bitch at times for the sport of golf. Have their little rivalry, and it's getting more and more intense. And the things that they're each saying about the rivalry is getting more and more funny because the other day, Bryson was like, he was all about it. He was like, rent free in your head, which, by the way, is the stupidest fucking comeback. I hate it. I don't like it.
It's not. Yeah.
It's not good. It's just so annoying because it's just like, yeah, you're in my head. I don't like you. Like, shut up. Fuck off. Like, I don't know. I think it's a dumb thing to say. But anyway, he was all about it. And then I guess he got a little bit too butthurt with all the Brooksy comments. And he said that the tour needs to handle it. And then just yesterday, Brooks said, I think the rivalry is great for the game. This is awesome. I'm having fun with this. Yeah,
it is, dude.
That's what Brooks said about it. Like, he literally doesn't give a fuck. And Bryson's over there being a bitch. I think the reason why Bryson doesn't like it at all is because Brooks is so clearly winning the rivalry.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And he has way more fans too on his side. Like we've said it before, we're a hashtag Team Brooks podcast over here. Bryson has been he's had to stick up his ass with the whole thing. And it also seems that Bryson is like taking everything kind of on a personal level, whereas Brooks seems to just be having fun with it.
Roll off the shoulders.
Yeah, he just seems to be having fun with it. Like, did you see over the weekend, Brooks wasn't playing. It was at the Memorial Tournament in Ohio. Brooks wasn't playing, but Bryson was. And there were fans chirping at Bryson, let's go Brooksy, and like stuff like that. And they ended up throwing them out. You know, they got kicked out. They had to leave. And Bryson responded by like messaging them on Twitter and saying like, hey guys, like such and such. And he offered them packs of Michelob beer, which I guess Brooks has like a sponsorship with Michelob. Yeah.
Michelob sponsors the PGA Tour.
Oh, okay.
It's a big beer sponsor.
That makes sense. So yeah, he offered them like free cases of Michelob Ultra for doing that. It was like to make up for you getting kicked out and stuff. And yeah Bryson didn't like that.
Dude, it's so it's awesome though. It's good TV. It's good. It's good, you know, it's get your popcorn type shit. You know
and I saw a TikTok. It was somebody went into the locker rooms or something like where they go, and they wrote in Bryson's locker, let's go Brooksy.
So funny.
Dude, they're in his head. Like, I know
Brooks is most definitely living.
You hate it, but it's definitely rent free, bro.
Oh, he's definitely rent free. But I do hate that. And the fact that Bryson DeChambeau made that as his number one comment is like his number one clapback. Like, that's what he's gonna put like all of his shit talking on is I'm living rent free. It's like, okay, you're bad at talking shit because that's what the rest of Twitter is doing right now.
Yeah,
come up with an original thing to say.
This kind of rivalry, though, what do you think like the traditionalists of golf think about it? You know,
I'm not sure because like,
you know, it is kind of modern. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more like in the media. It's a little bit less professional kind of thing.
It might be a little bit of like similar to baseball, like let the kids play type beat.
Yeah, Tony La Russa.
Yeah, so that might be what some people think. I mean, there's been rivalries in the past in golf, but it's usually just because those are two of the best in the game at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, it's not because they don't like each other.
Yeah, like Phil and Tiger, they're like great friends right now.
Yeah. Well, now they weren't really friends back in the day.
Exactly.
But they weren't talking shit to each other on live TV or getting, you know, it wasn't to this level. But I think this is great personally for the sport of golf. Like we said, it's two of the premier players in the sport, and they actively, knowingly hate each other. It's not like one of those rumors be like, hey, like, you know, low key, like those guys don't like each other. Or like, you know,
it's like documented on camera.
They don't. It's like out in the moment. Yeah. You know, it's not in the closet. # Pride Month.
And I mean, everybody seems to be like jumping on board with it too. Like I've seen TikToks about it. Like we mentioned, you know, like fans are getting involved with it too, which is awesome to see because maybe that'll expose the game to new fans. And, you know, it's perfect timing for me because I'm starting to watch golf more. You know, I'm starting to play golf, but I fucking suck. But, you know, that's fine.
No, Brooks. Yeah. And Brooks winning this is definitely good because it's going to get a lot more fans. Pretty much everyone who's in a college dude demographic right now.
Yeah.
Like anyone who likes Barstool Sports is now going to be, if they weren't already, they're probably going to get more involved with golf because Brooksy's the type of guy that they like.
Yeah, and Brooks does a lot of stuff with Barstool too.
He does, yeah. He's heavily involved with Barstool. He comes on the show on Pardon My Take quite a bit. And so Yeah, so I think it's good stuff. And Bryson DeChambeau's a bitch.
Yeah. Opposite of good stuff, though. Bad stuff in the MLB. We got a lot of foreign substance issues going on right now with pitchers and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what it's called. It's like spider tar or some shit. It's the sticky stuff that pitchers put in their gloves to like rub on their finger so they can get a lot more control on the balls. I don't know exactly what it's called, but that's been a big problem lately. The MLB recently came out and said that they were going to punish pitchers for it. Like they were going to take action against it to prevent it. But it seems like pitchers don't really give a fuck. I've seen a lot of videos of like Yu Darvish is cheating, which that one hurts my heart because I love Yu Darvish as a former Ranger. And then also Trevor Bauer, who's been like one of the big guys on it. There's been Garrett Cole too. Like there's a lot of big name pitchers that have been involved in this stuff.
John Means has been a guy who's had a breakout year this year.
Yeah, it's like the guys that are having like random breakout years. Like, okay, shit.
Yeah, well, and the craziest part about it is because everyone's doing it, nobody's calling each other out. Because you can go and say, "Hey, check his glove for foreign substances," but nobody's doing it because as soon as one team does it, all the other teams are going to start doing it, and they don't get caught because their pitchers are lights out right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So like
that's why there's been so many no hitters, probably, dude.
Oh, definitely. Probably has something to do with it.
Everybody's cheating right now.
Well, and the MLB's been fucking with the balls.
What do you mean? In what way?
Years. Well, when 2 years ago, when they broke years ago, the balls were juiced. When they broke the league broke the home run record for a season, there was a lot of speculation. League never said it, but the balls were juiced, definitely. Like, and then Pete Alonso just came out and said that the MLB is manipulating the baseball constantly, like every season, and they do it depending on
that's
the
interesting.
Free agent. Yeah, and they do it based on the free agent market that year. And this year, the MLB came out and said that they're deadening the baseball. So that just pretty much goes and proves the theory that they juiced them a couple of years ago if there's such a need to deaden them. So
that's kind of fucked.
I mean, no, because if you look at it, there's a video. It's either Acuna or Albies hitting a pop fly and like slamming his bat down on the ground, and then it turns out to be a home run because it just carries.
It just keeps going.
Yeah. And shit like that has happened a bunch.
That's weird.
And so now they're reversing a little bit this year, but pitchers are definitely using these substances.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about like the pop flies or like the juicing the balls and stuff like that. That's really interesting. That's kind of weird though, that because I would think that those players, they're so used to the ball, they practice with it every day in and day out. That's what they play with. Like, would they not notice it changing often?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know how it's different. It's kind of like it's a minimal change, and it depends on like I don't even know. Maybe it's the type of cork that they use inside the ball. I think that's what they do.
That makes sense. Yeah, or like the material and stuff that's actually in it.
Yeah, that's inside of it, but they keep it around the same weight, and it's like not really a noticeable difference. And like, even if it did, it would be like placebo. But like, you think baseball feels different this year, and be like, not really. It might be in your head. You know what I mean?
Dude, like on top of the no hitters and stuff, I feel like there's been quite a few home runs, maybe more than relative to other seasons at this point. So what if I was just thinking, like, as we're talking about the cheating and stuff, what if we're in another steroid era of baseball and we don't even fucking know it?
Probably. I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, what if everybody's doing stuff?
My roommate says, because he played JUCO, and he goes, dude, everyone that's in the league is juicing or has juiced at one point. That's what he said. That's what he tells me. And I've heard that from other people too. And I believe it.
That's interesting.
Honestly, I believe it.
So, well, but would the league do anything about it though? Like if everybody's doing it?
No, they'd probably want to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So like, when would that come to light? Because I mean, wasn't it with like the steroid era of baseball? We didn't find out about it for like decades.
No, I think like on the tail
I could be totally wrong on that.
Guys started getting popped left and right because it got to a point where people were like, "There's no way these guys are not on steroids right now." and a lot of guys were getting busted and popped and left and right. And I think Congress got involved there, and like there was some MLB players that went to U.S. deposition. Rafael Palmeiro had a deposition with the Senate and was like, "Yeah, I've never used steroids ever in my life," and tested positive for steroids like right after. So
that's funny.
The steroids been a problem in the league for a long time. So the pitchers are just doing what they can do. This is using syrup or spider tack or whatever the fuck they got on their glove right now. It's just their form of steroids.
Yeah, I mean, it's at least they're not injecting themselves with shit, which I mean, again, who
They're
knows?
probably doing that too.
I was about to say, who knows? They could be, but I saw Garrett Cole, the Yankees pitcher, and who's also been going off ever since he was out of Pittsburgh. He's just had breakout year after breakout year. So, I saw a post-game interview with him where they asked him, like word for word, the reporter said, "Have you ever used like the sticky tack or spider tack substance in your life?" And did the Nets bet just hit?
Yep.
All right,
83, 86 bucks.
So nice. It won by half a point.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Okay, anyway, but I saw Garrett Cole was in the interview. They asked him, "Have you ever used this substance in your life?" And he literally goes, I don't know how to answer that. It's like, bro, could you be more obvious that you're fucking cheating? I don't get it. It's just so, why not lie, dude? It's so easy to lie right there.
Yeah, I saw that video too. That was bad.
Yeah, it's so bad. Well, my question for you with this whole thing though is, should PEDs, steroids, performance enhancing drugs, should they be allowed across all sports?
Well, maybe if we do like a trial run and say, let's do it, but then all sports stay the same. Like baseball is a really good example because you can really tell in baseball if they're juicing or not because, just easier to tell from how hard you hit the ball. If the game stays the same, then we'll be like, oh, these guys have been juicing all along. But what if we completely crack down on it and sports sucked?
Yeah, that's true though. It would be like super, but then again, I just feel like the steroids just ruins the element of like the come up, you know what I mean? From high school to college and like finding the best of the best. Like if it's just who can find the best steroids, you know what I mean? Then like that would just kind of defeat what's the word? I don't know, the fucking American elements of sports. You know what I mean?
Well, some people say that Bonds would have still been one of the greatest players of all time.
Well, he
and it
probably
wasn't
would've.
because of steroids.
He probably would've. No, yeah,
steroids definitely boost you up, but like I don't think steroids is a difference between an average career and a Hall of Fame career. Steroids isn't going to make you see the ball come out of the hand faster.
That's true.
Steroids isn't going to make you swing at a high fastball out of the zone or a curveball in the dirt.
That's true. But if we're talking about across all sports, then like in football, it's going to make you hit harder. In basketball, it's going to make you run a lot faster. You're going to have quicker reaction time. Like, I don't know. I don't think there's room for it. But
I don't know. That's my only concern is what if we just completely cracked down on it and sports sucked?
that could be very possible though. And it's like, what if we find out it's just been a thing like, forever?
Under the table, like, you know what, guys, it's okay.
It's fine. Yeah, you guys go ahead. Keep doing your thing.
You're destroying your body, but this is kind of what you got into when you take millions of dollars to play with the ball.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up with some Love It or Loathe It.
Let's do it.
All right, if you guys are new to the podcast and don't know what Love It or Loathe It is, this is how we end every episode. It's a little segment we do where we take turns firing off some rapid fire questions topics to one another. And if we love it, we're going to stop, talk about it for a little bit. If we loathe it, we'll just move on. And that's that. Do you want to take the first round or do you want me to go?
I'll take first round.
You'll take first round? All righty.
Yeah, where does it stop?
I got it.
Okay.
Stops with Rudy Gobert.
Okay.
All righty.
All right.
First up, we got Kevin Pillar hit 2 home runs on his blood-soaked bat. Pillar was hit in the face and gushed blood a few weeks ago.
Yeah, for those, if people like bloody videos, look up Kevin Pillar getting hit in the face. That was probably one of the worst face hits I've ever seen because as soon as he got hit, bro, like gushing blood, like UFC type shit, and had to get like surgery and was out for about 2 weeks. And then last night he had the same bat that was soaked in his own blood from getting hit in the face and hit 2 bombs.
That's pretty sick. I haven't seen that yet.
Baller.
All right, so I assume that's a love it.
That's a love it.
All right, next up we got Dak Prescott signs with the Jordan brand as the only quarterback now with the brand.
Love it. Dak's a top 5 QB, and this is just one thing to prove it because he's a very marketable QB, and his play reflects that. So this is another example of why he is a top 5 QB.
He's a top 10 quarterback. Top 5 is a little bit of stretch, but all right. Next up, LeBron James is changing his jersey number back to 6 from 23.
Loathe it.
All right. The Chicago Cubs unveil new City Connect uniforms.
I love this, so I'm going to talk about it, but I actually loathe the uniforms. They're trash. This Nike, MLB needs to drop Nike. I hate the swoosh on the chest of MLB jerseys. I don't like it. I think it ruins the sanctity of the sport. And the City Connect uniforms, the 5 that they come out with, are all ugly. Like Boston has this yellow and turquoise uniform. That's disgusting. The Wrigleyville ones look like either it's for the Seattle Mariners. I mean, it's full on navy blue all the way through. They look like a fucking 13-year-old's Diamond Dynasty team. Like that's what they all look like so far. And it's just like,
yeah, the Red Sox ones are really ugly. I just found them.
Yeah. I mean,
the
Chicago White Sox have like kind of a cool one, but like one I'd only want to see with in a video game.
Yeah.
Because it's black with white pinstripes, which is kind of cool, but not really that great. So yeah.
All right.
MLB drop Nike.
No, they should go back to Majestic.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, then we talked about it a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and keep it in here anyway. Kristaps Porzingis has been frustrated and feels like an afterthought, not a co-star to Luka Doncic.
Loathe it.
All right. Rudy Gobert wins his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year award.
So I love this. Rudy is obviously good on him by making a PR comeback because last year the whole world hated him.
Yeah.
And then I guess when people realized that like kind of really wasn't his fault, they started giving him some more credit. So good for him to be back in the good graces of the people. But one thing I want to say too is like, how much do these sports voters watch basketball? You know what I mean? Like, how do they just go, Rudy Gobert's, he's been the best defensive player in the league the past couple of years. I'm going to vote him. Like,
right? No, I think about that too because I thought Bam Adebayo should have won it. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a Heat fan, but Bam Adebayo has been amazing defensively.
Like, how many of these sports writers actually are voting for real? Like, how real of an award are these awards in sports?
Yeah, that's always a thing. Well, I mean, if you look at the NBA, there was a 1 MVP vote for Derrick Rose.
Yeah. Well,
but that's probably because of the fan vote.
Last year, Luka got a Defensive Player of the Year vote from a guy. Yeah.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, he's not. So
not even close, yeah.
No. It just kind of makes you shake your head and wonder, are these awards the real litmus test of how good of a player is? So
yeah.
That's my piece.
That's all for that section. I'm ready when you are.
This one's funny. Rams head coach Sean McVay has reportedly been in a better mood since acquiring Matt Stafford.
I love this because I think it's pretty funny. Jared Goff, he's gone. Good riddance. I think Stafford's a much better fit for that offense. I'm sure McVay's really happy with him compared to Goff. Goff isn't terrible. I don't want to knock him too much, but I think Stafford is just a much better fit, and I would be happy too. So that's pretty funny. Love it.
All right. The Washington football team will now have an open quarterback competition. Ryan Fitzpatrick is the starter day one, but it's anybody's job to have in between Fitzpatrick himself, Taylor Heineke, and Kyle Allen.
I loathe this actually because I am a big Fitzpatrick fan and a big Heineke fan. So I would be happy to see either one of them play. So I don't know. I kind of loathe it.
Okay. All right. It is widely believed that the NBA will add 2 expansion teams in both Seattle and Las Vegas.
I love it. Seattle, I didn't like the fact that they moved to Oklahoma City. I mean, it's nice that Oklahoma City now has a major sports team, in in some way, shape, fashion, or form. But that leaves Seattle with just the Mariners, or I guess they just got the Kraken. So they got the Kraken, the Mariners, and the Seahawks now. So I love that because I think it's great for the league to expand. What was the other team you said? Las Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
That'd be great because Vegas is becoming a sports town now. They got the Raiders. They got the Golden Knights. So I've been questioning why Vegas wasn't a sports town for a long time because they're a big enough city, I feel like, and would have enough fans to go to the games and stuff like that. So I love that.
All right. I don't know how soon it's going to happen, but it's coming in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Alex Smith is in talks with CBS and Fox about coming on as an analyst in the booth.
I loathe it. I love Alex Smith, but I'm not a huge fan of athletes getting a free pass into the booth.
Tony Romo's been great.
He has. I can't lie. He's been awesome.
CP3 has had 38 assists and only 2 turnovers in his past 3 games.
I love it. CP3, GOAT, one of the all-time great point guards. He's been proving his worth with the Suns just like he does everywhere he goes. He is, even though Devin Booker is their number one, Chris Paul is leading them into these playoffs. He's the veteran. He's their guy. And he's been playing out of his mind considering his role right now in this team. So I love that.
All right. Simone Biles wins 7th U.S. Gymnastics Championship.
I love it. She's the GOAT. I really don't know shit about gymnastics, but she's fucking good at it. I saw she had in her leotard, she had rhinestones in the shape of a goat on the side. Because, I mean, she knows it too. She's the GOAT. But, yeah, that's good for her domination.
All right. Last time the NBA Finals didn't include LeBron James or Steph Curry was 2010.
I loathe this because it makes me feel old. Dude, I was 10 years old the last time there wasn't a finals with LeBron or Steph. That's crazy.
I mean, I'm 23 now. How do you think I feel?
Damn, bro. We're old. Yeah, anyway, loathe that. That makes me feel old.
All right.
All right, yeah, that's all we got for this week. Hopefully we had a few new eyes. We have a lot of new Twitter followers in the last few days, so we appreciate all the support on that. And you guys make sure to check us out on social media, Twitter @GTD_sports. Our TikTok is @GTDsports.com. But yeah, that's all we got for this week. If you stayed the whole time, we really appreciate you listening. And we'll be back here on Wednesday next week, back on the regular schedule. Yeah, thanks for listening.